Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
It doesn't look like we have a quorum. But the time is 4:02. Go ahead and call this to order, even though no quorum. The first item on the agenda is public comments. Ms. Kelly, has there been any public comments or anything submitted or anyone here that wishes to speak?
No, we did not receive any comments.
Okay. Well, we can approve the August 17th minutes because we do not have a quorum. So we'll jump right into Office of Small Business Opportunities.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erica Wade. I'm the manager for the Office of Small Business Opportunity. And so I'm just going to hit some of the highlights that may be different from the last time that we met. So on page 5, you will see when it talks about our total number of firms certified, we're at 117 firms that have been certified with the office. And it also gives a breakdown of the different categories. That's on page 6. And then also on page 9, there are no new projects that we've set a goal on. But on page 11, it talks about some of the outreach events that we attended since the last time we spoke. So on March 30th, SBA hosted a panel that talked about women in government and contracting. I was one of the panelists for that discussion. We had about 30 participants that was on that call. And then on April the 6th, we had the Public Safety Center outreach event, which was a very good outreach event. We had about 30 to 40, maybe even more participants that was there. And out of the businesses that attended, we were able to get 5 applications, new applications to become certified because we have some small businesses that would like to be able to work on that project. Upcoming events that we have. So on April the 29th, we have Mr. Charlton Chuck Whipple, who will be doing one of our workshops. And the title of that workshop is Profit versus Cash Flow. What's the difference? And that's going to be held at the DECA Center. And that will be on April the 29th. And that will be from 10 to 3 o'clock. So far, we have about 35, 40 participants that have registered for that class. On April the 25th, OSBO would also be on the panel discussion at the small business workshop, small business breakout session that the Chamber of Commerce is hosting, and our office would also be on that panel, and we'll be talking about certifications. Other than that, those are some of the updates that we have so far. Are there any questions?
Looks like you're getting off easy today, Miss Erica.
Good job. All right. Thank you.
All right. If there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and move on to the comments. Who's here for the comments?
That's me, Jackie Bowers. How y'all doing?
Hey, Miss Jackie.
Hi. So again, yes, my name is Jackie Bowers. I'm the Director of Operations for the Comet. And I would actually start my report on page 14, giving a summary of the Lucius Road Superstop project. So that project is now 100% physically completed and 100% financially completed. The only thing that we're waiting on now is that they come and cut the grass, so which is minor. So the contractor did agree to do that for us, to do the initial grass cut because it is really tall. And then from that point going forward, we will get our landscapers to maintain it. So we got that off of our plate. So that is completed. The next page will be, we're going to start on the the project for our new vehicles that we purchased in the new electric and hydrogen buses. So on page 15, that is a report on the use of the funds for those 4 vehicles. And then on page 16 through 25, that's just a timeline of the entire project for the new buses that's coming in. It's from start to finish up until the buses are actually delivered to us. Now, we're expecting a delivery date of around mid to the end of November of this year for those 4 vehicles. So that's 2 hydrogen buses and 2 electric buses. Okay, and on page 26 is an actual drawing of the specs of the buses. So last week we received these same drawings in addition to other ones, just giving approval to the specs as far as the seating, the cameras, and everything that's involved in getting the bus finalized. So all that has been approved and has gone to New Flyer. And New Flyer is actually that's the company that is making the buses. And page 27, this is a color drawing of how the buses are going to actually look once they are finalized. And that is the color scheme that we selected. It's a blue color. So we want them to kind of stand out from the remainder, the rest of the fleet, because as if you've seen our buses before, they're like multicolored. So these 4 buses will be like a solid blue, a different shades of blue with white writing, so that we can easily identify them from the other fleet.
Just out of curiosity, how do you decide the drivers for these buses? Is it like they have to bid on it, or most seniority, or just out of curiosity?
Well, all the drivers will be trained.
Oh, okay.
They will all have to know how to drive this bus.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they all will receive the training. Yes. And we have had, it was a few years ago, we had like a demo electric bus on the property. So that was probably about 10 years ago. Okay, page 20. We'll go to page 29. And this will be a report on our shelters and benches. So as far as the completed sites, we have 2 shelters that have been completed, and they both are on Broad River Road. And the approved sites, we have 1 bench. That one's Hardscrabble Road, and we're still waiting on the sidewalk completion on Hardscrabble widening. And sites currently under permit review, we have 1 bench, and that's at Lexington Medical Center, which is the main hospital off of Highway 378. And page 30. Sites in design, we have 6 presently in design, that's shelters, and we have 18 benches that's in design. Okay, and then now we'll go to page 31 with the ridership. So the ridership for the month of March was 158,632 compared to March of last year with 138,952, and that's an increase of 14.16%, which is good. Page 32, the ridership continued, and this is a comparison to last month, which the month before March, which was February. So with March being 158,632, and then February, the month before, it was 150,528. And that was a 5.38% increase. And pages 33 and 34 are our end of month financials and the DBE participation. So if you have any questions on any of that, I'm open for questions at this time.
John, you mind if I jump in?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Yeah, I was curious about, first of all, I'm thrilled to hear that the hydrogen electric buses are moving forward and that y'all have a schedule for delivery and all that. That is awesome news.
Mhm.
I was curious about the bids for those. Were y'all able to reach out to Proterra here in state to solicit a bid, or was New Flyer selected for their ability to provide the hydrogen and electric, or can you provide any insight into that process?
I don't know if Michelle is on. Roz, do you?
I'm here, Jackie.
Okay, go ahead.
The project was bid as a package, and part of that package was New Flyer. CTE, which helped us when we had the Proterra buses back when we had the demo. They assisted us with the bid package, so all vendors were included in that, and that was what was awarded. That's how New Flyer got to be part of it.
So CTE was solicited from New Flyer and Proterra, and New Flyer would have come out on top, presumably, if they include that in their bid.
Well, they didn't really, it's not really a bid process on this one. It was a
Sole
competitive,
source. Oh,
no, it was a competitive procurement or a competitive grant application. And you put the whole team together in the application. So that's how it went down.
okay. So New Flyer, as soon as that money was allocated, it was always going to be New Flyer at that point.
Yes, once we got the award, yes.
Understood. Very good. And then, sorry, I was looking at the schedule. Love the wrap. I'm not sure if it's as loud as it could be, but pretty good.
Are you throwing shade at us, John?
I'm just saying, blue might blend in some neighborhoods. We'll see how it goes, but it's a pretty good wrap. I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then the other thing I noticed in our report was, I guess, a lack of detail on the ridership information. I really appreciated the graphs that we had before where it showed, total ridership month to month and then year over year, and then the different services that those were serving as well, so that we can kind of look and see how is the campus service doing? How is our, more broad service doing? How's our, remote service doing? I thought that was helpful to have in the past. And so any way we can reincorporate that, I'd very much appreciate it.
Yeah, we can put that back in.
Very good. Were ridership on campus, has it been pretty good month over month and year over year?
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Yes.
That's great to hear.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any other
See,
questions?
Chris has his hand up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi,
my bad.
thank you.
Oh,
Thanks.
I'm sorry, her.
That's okay. That's all right. It sounds like y'all have some really good stuff going on, and I'm glad to hear that with the Lucius site finishing up and everything. So it's good to hear all those good things happening. I'll echo what John asked. It's always interesting to hear like where the increased ridership might be coming from and which routes seem to be better traveled than others. That's helpful information. And then I had one question for you about the bus shelters. On page 30, it mentions that there will be I guess there's a super stop out at the Northeast campus, the Midlands Tech. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And could I ask you what bus, and you might not know this, but do you know what bus routes are going to run through there?
The Midlands Tech area.
Yeah, because I know super stops, usually it's for people to transfer or because they expect a lot of volume ridership. And I can understand that because it's a big it's a pretty well-used campus at Midlands Tech, and there's lots of programs there. But I was just kind of curious in terms of the other function of a super stop in terms of transfers and such.
Well, actually, Midlands Tech presently have a shelter which is right, I would say right at their front door.
Oh, okay.
And they want to move it.
Okay.
So what they're looking at, we were told that, and I don't know how long this is going to take, but apparently there's I think an apartment complex or something that's going to be across the street from
Okay.
Midlands Tech, which is off of Powell Road.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they're building something over there, apartment complex or whatever. And they kind of held off on relocating the existing shelter from where it is, because first they wanted to move it like on the side of the building of the school. And then they just contact us, like, let's hold off on that for a while. Let's see what they're going to do across the street. We can just put it over there and make it like I guess a bigger stop.
Yes.
To accommodate the school and I guess the apartment complex or what's going on.
Okay. All right.
So I think that's why they're calling it a super stop.
Okay. Because it's serving more than just their location.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to be the same routes that's going through there now. So
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Any other questions for the comments? Anyone? All right. Well, thank you very much, Miss Jackie.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We'll move right along to Mr. Maloney with the transportation update.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Next Monday, a week from today, the 24th at 11 o'clock, we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony for the North Main Street project. That project, I understand, had multiple widening phases, and then my involvement more or less came in with the intersection of Monticello Road being completed, which was the last phase that we needed to complete for that project. So that effort with the city commissioning a design, and then the Penny providing getting the project built is the culmination of a lot of professionals involved in that. And so we look forward to that ceremony next week. That will be, what's the name of the park? It's right at the intersection of Main Street and Monticello Road. We also have a new project manager, just started last week, Ted Thomas. I see Ted is fired up and logged on. I think last month we introduced that we had Kazi Islam, another project manager, and they've been getting their assignments, so they're underway. Kazi's working on Bull and Elmwood, and we'll be giving you a construction update on that.
It's Hyatt
Hyatt Park. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's always there with the answer. Hyatt Park's where the ribbon cutting ceremony. As far as approvals for committee council, let's see, we won't have an ad hoc this month. We had one in the prior month, and then a council approval for the use of project reserve for our resurfacing program, and that was approved at $5 million. And then there were 3 mitigation bank sales that occurred last month. Penny still reserves for its own use 100 wetland credits, and I believe it was 3,400 street bank credits for future projects. Biggest of those would be the extension of Shop Road. So for pre-construction updates on page 35, we have the Atlas Road widening And that, we're just going through the checklist of things to submit to DOT for the final plan approval and getting a approval for bidding the project. And so that's very close. Bluff Road widening, phase 2. We did get comments for our right-of-way plans. So our OET is working on those responses. Broad River Road widening, the 60% right-of-way plans were actually submitted to SCDOT, and they're also doing the utility relocation design. That's being taken care of by the OET. And then we have been meeting with particular developers on the corridor. So some of the businesses that would be coming into Broad River Road in that area of kind of just south of Ballantyne, if their utilities or their plan is not in sync with the widening project, the DOT will send them to us as they do apply for encroachment permits. So we have been open to hearing what it is they need for sewer and water, and we're trying to work that out with them. So, you know, they don't wait for us to actually begin construction before they can do anything. So keeping those projects moving and where they can extend sewer and water. And the other point, the OET has been approved by the Penny to start obtaining title reports. Those will take a while on the project, and so they're going to do that. Once we have the DOT's approval on the right-of-way plans, we'll actually have permission to acquire property. That project will have, and I don't have the date in front of me, but it's also the end of the month here. We'll have a PIM on that. So I'll have to get that out to you. But that PIM, I think it's the 28th. We'll have to look that up. And that will be at the middle school, the school that's along Broad River Road. Clemson Sparkleberry still early on in design and continues to progress. The Crane Creek Greenway. We thought at one time the city had indicated there was a Palmetto Trail Foundation was going to maybe connect with it. Now they're actually looking at the Lexington side. So we did receive comments, and we'll have to go through SHPO for a phase 1 archaeological survey on the site. So that's part of the design there down by the Broad River. We will continue with Hunt Club Road. We've got our SCDOT comments, and so we're our OET is working on the responses to get that approved. And I say dirt road evaluation. There is a list of dirt roads being evaluated in the packet. That's behind the resurfacing pages. And you'll see a list of between about 40 or so dirt roads there that are being evaluated, different council districts they're in. One of them we've had on the list, Sarah Matthews Road, is District 7. That road is a pretty good sized dirt road as far as length. It's a windy dirt road. Some of it's hillside, requiring guardrail, etc. And it had a leaky water main under it. And so sometimes we run into certain things that we need to get repaired by others before we can go ahead, because the water main was unknown as far as depth. We had the consultant raise the grades on the road a little bit in that area as you enter in off of Monticello Road into it. So just provide extra measure of protection from the water main, and it appears that the city had come out and repaired the leak. Well, with that said, that would likely be on our next list, like dirt road package O. So we'll be looking at projects like that. If you see anything along that realm that roads that you're aware of that are on this list, please let us know. Another one we were out on due to nearly 7 inches of water falling on Lower Richland in 24 hours was Goodwin Way. That's on our list here, District 10. You know, it would be imprudent of us to pave that dirt road until some of the water problems in that area are resolved. So we're looking into that on a public works standpoint, working with the Department of Public Works to look at some relief for that area as far as drainage. I will say that was quite a rainfall. Lower Richland Boulevard widening, we did receive right-of-way plans that were reviewed by the DOT, and then the comments are being prepared by the OET on that. We did receive comments that would extend the project's limits, and so myself and the project manager need to review that. That's a new comment that's come in related to the project and what that might mean. We were actually doing that road on both sides. We had work planned to occur on both sides of Garner's Ferry Road to help straighten out the Lower Richland Boulevard intersection with Garner's Ferry Road, but I'll have to take a look at what that was as far as their comment yet. Polo Road Greenway. We should have a concept report in a couple of months. That was a project that hadn't been started that we got signed up and with a OET to begin design. And then Polo Road widening, surveys and sewer complete. So we're approximately 60% complete. Shop Road Phase 2. That's the extension project I mentioned that would need wetland and stream bank credits. We're working with economic development right now as far as what their big plans are for the area. And then I have gotten some calls from landowners in the area with some concerns about where the road will be. There were some, I understand, public meetings on that in the past. And certainly before we would proceed in any direction, we'd have additional public meetings on the alignment of the road. But right now, I want to make sure that given the nature of the road and the nature of the current road that we have as far as Shop Road, prior extension with businesses on it, like you might be aware with Michael Anthony, brewing company on there and others. That's potentially the type of businesses that will be drawn to that area. And I think that economic development is kind of key. And then provide some options to the residents in the area. Shop Road widening is in the preliminary right-of-way stage, so about 60% plans. Spears Creek Church Road, the 60s were sent into SCDOT and the OET is addressing their comments. So that's getting close to right-of-way acquisition. And then Sunset Drive sidewalk. We're just getting that one ready to get an authorization to proceed as well. As far as construction updates, Blythewood Road widening, they had while we were out there for the groundbreaking, they were already starting the clearing and grubbing at that point. Contractor has been very interested in moving, so we're very happy to see that, and they will be starting to work on, and they've already begun with some of the utility relocations like Charter and AT&T, etc. And so we have a few things there, couple sets of plans that would be adjusted due to the development that came up as we were in the, actually completed the bidding process. But with the particular development that may include a 4-lane of community road, we wanted to not build a 2-lane south throat to the roundabout. and then have them have to tear it up, and also potentially impact traffic again. So we are making adjustments to that south leg of the roundabout in the detention basin location. Had meetings on that with the contractor and what we can do to move that along, and not hold up utility relocation. We expect some updates from our OET this week, so that we can proceed with issuing a construction bulletin to our contractor and to all the plant holders. Bull and Elmwood has, you can see the new pavement and curbing on the Bull District side of the project. And there have been some requested delays by SCDOT on things that would create further traffic problems as related to the I-77 bridge deck project. And I guess I wasn't 100% sure that that was actually going to happen, but now I do see all the traffic coming down 277 right now as the I guess the southbound is blocked off. And so if you're coming in from anywhere from Charlotte to Blythewood, that you're probably geared to get on 277 and head 20 that way or through town. But there have been local traffic management occurring at the signal box at Bull and Elmwood by the city to try to manage the amount of extra traffic that came through 2 weeks ago with the northbound blocked off. And now I think probably in the evening it's going to be worse with the amount of southbound coming in through, mixing in with that DHEC traffic at the same time. So avoid it like I'm going to. I failed to avoid it twice, so not 3 times though.
It's getting pretty hard to avoid at this point. It's just kind of reverberating across the entire city.
It's okay. There's not a good alternative route anybody has. If you know it, you probably won't tell me.
Especially in a public setting like this.
Yeah, sorry about that, but I just wanted to be honest that we do have some things going on there that I'm gonna keep it on the contractor from digging up this middle of the road right now. So they'll be getting into that and getting into the curb returns on the other 3 legs, or 2.5 legs, I guess, that are involved. But there's just various things in underground we got to get to, but well, we'll need some lanes, a lane here and there to do that. Most of the work's still occurring at night. North Main Street, as we said, the ribbon cutting is next Monday. We do have final inspection. Some of the inspections have already been completed, but a big one is with the landscaping and coordinating between the city, the Penny, and the contractor on that. They do have a pile of construction debris near the project limits. I call it the south side of the viaduct up on what's been indicated as an SCDOT a parcel up there, and they are crushing that material and removing it as they go. So that will need to be gone before the contract, the dollar retention that we have is released. Screaming Eagle and Percival, that has moved on to where they're doing the signal bases. I think last month we reported they had a soft spot, and geogrids were put in to augment that, as well as additional stone base. So that's been completed, and then signal bases are being installed, or will be installed last week. Garner's Ferry Harmon was the one that required a lot of utility. There's a lot of utilities in that intersection, so a lot of boring that had to occur with water and gas, and that has occurred. And they were testing the and pressurizing the water main last week. So our big focus is on Alpine Road, Percival Road sidewalk, and Sunset Drive sidewalk, as well as getting that Atlas Road project out to bid. That has not changed. like you say, on page 41 is the roads, dirt roads we're looking at, getting on the next list, picking out roads. We've talked about different ones on here. So Larger Street is one that I think we're gonna get ready to go to, or have currently on a list, and then Sarah Matthews and Sminger Road. A few of them that had been picked out by staff, but if anybody sees anything on here, feel free to contact us. Page 42, we have the financial report. I went ahead and left it highlighted to show where from project reserve, we borrowed $5 million to put into resurfacing. So 5 million, it went from 52.5 down to 47.5 million. And then resurfacing went from 40 million to 45 million. So that's where that transfer occurs. And that's the resurfacing program also had the 1.4 million in CTC funds, grant funds. So ultimately, we'll have 46.4 million. And while we only show 34 million spent to date, we do have a commitment on S&T that hasn't been paid out yet. That'll take us up closer to 38 million. So that's why we wanted to get that in front of council to prepare so we can move beyond T and U and get to V and W. So we'll no pun intended, but we'll be keeping moving next year then on the resurfacing program. That's all we have for a report. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Mike, it's Chris Kiefer. How you doing today?
Doing good, ma'am.
Good. Hey, I can usually follow the acronyms, but there's a new one here on page 35 and 36, SUE.
Okay, yeah. I had to learn that down here.
Subsurface utility engineering.
Awesome. Thank you.
Look at you, John.
It's a valuable tool. You never know who you're going to run into underground. Mike, did want to thank y'all for having us out for the, I guess, groundbreaking for Blythewood widening. I was fortunate to be in the area and able to swing by and check that one out. And thank you for inviting us for the Main Street ribbon cutting as well. That's helpful for us to, be able to get out and, speak to some of the folks who are making more of these decisions. So it's good of you to have us out for that, and thrilled to see Main Street kind of wrapping up. I know that when I started on this committee 5 years ago, that there were folks complaining about how that project was taking too long. So it's a good sign that it's wrapping up now.
Yeah.
That is good, and yeah, thank you for coming out to the groundbreaking and that that ribbon cutting is at 11 a.m. So a great time to take a moment off from work or other things. So yeah, if anybody can make it, that'd be great to have you out there.
And did you mention that pile of concrete by the railroad trestle, that's all construction debris that they intend to crush and ship off site?
Yes, sir. I was out there a little over a week ago now. I met with the contractor, and he had already crushed some of the asphalt and was trucking it out. He was to bring in a concrete crusher, portable crusher. So that's fine as long as they get it done. It looks like a couple thousand yards. So,
yeah, it's a lot for sure.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a mountain over there. I guess y'all don't need any aggregate for stream bank restorations or anything like that.
Yeah, it makes good material. No.
Or just a big yard stored on. Yeah, okay. I'm sure if y'all had it, you'd offer it to them. Very good. Sounds like everything's going well though.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Maloney? Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time as always. we'll move along to our next scheduled meeting will be May 15th. 2023. At 4:00 again. Miss Kelly, do we have an update on the membership?
Not as of yet. I haven't heard anything about any new members. I'll keep checking it.
Okay. I know I remember seeing some social media things and saw it listed on there for the county. And I know the city of Columbia has began again doing their appointments. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of these positions filled so we can start fulfilling more of our duties or our charges that we're charged to do. Does anybody have anything else, questions or whatnot they want to bring up? No? All right, the time is now 4:42. We are adjourned. See y'all next month, except for those that are able to show up Monday to the ribbon cutting.
Thank you.
Have a
All
good one.
right,
I'll be there. Y'all have a good afternoon
you too.
or evening now, I guess.
Yes, sir.